Welcome to the Pixel Beauty Choices podcast, and today we're going to be talking about one love interest book. Is it better than books that have like a lot of options for love interest, or which how it works, which one do people like, and everything about it. And I will also add my opinion to it. So, one love interest books, you have just one love interest. Oftentimes, it's gender customizable and race customizable, and the whole book revolves around them, and the story is based on that. And Pixelberry Choices, they have been doing this since last year, and it's pretty recent, I would say. Like books like The Witness, The Nanny Affair, so these books are like one love interest book. Now Queen Bee sort of, I think it was designed as one love interest book between your professor and you, but then Zoe was added and other flinks there. So that's a different story for another day. But even lots of VIP books and new books are also like one love interest book. So let's see like is it really so we're gonna first talk about one love interest book, then against it we're gonna talk about books that have more love interest, and then we're gonna come up to some conclusion like what I like, and then you guys can comment in the comment section and you can let your voices be heard. So let's talk about one love interest books. So one love interest books, as I've said formerly, this is something that Pixelberry Choices they've been trying since last year, pretty recently. So what happens in this one love interest book is that you have one love interest, and like for instance Dakota in With Every Heartbeat, and you bond with that person, and they're gender customizable, race customizable, so you get to choose. There is no, it is not, they're not forcing this character to you. So you get, and then the story builds up around them, and you get to know them, you get to fall for them. Like, talk about Sam. Of course, the story was really awesome. The story was written in a way that it made you fall for Sam beat by beat. It made you crave to play those diamond scenes. But let's talk about that. It was really successful. If I talk about this, so this like Dakota Winchester, for instance. So this one love interest books that really, you get one love interest and you get to, the story revolves around them. And sometimes what happens, like if you talk about all the stories, like sometimes in some story, the fact is really important. The story, like what is happening, the love is not that important, the love interest. So you have four or five options, and you get diamond scenes with them, but not many romance options. And at the end, maybe probably you get one big diamond scene, but you never know what's gonna happen with you and your love interest. Are you gonna end up together there or not? So that's one thing. That's one difficulty, I would say. Like maybe something is incomplete. So in terms of that, if you have one love interest, then you are spending the whole time with your love interest, and it's most likely that it is. These are basically, if you take a look, these are romance novels and like the rom coms or something related to just love. Nothing like if you see like any adventure book or anything like any political book or anything, they don't have this one love interest. So I think this is pretty clear. Like if they're going with this love genre or something, they're going with one love interest, and if they're going into something else, like for Nightbound, there were lots of love interests. But again, I played Nightbound. It's a pretty good story. We have lots of love interest too. But again, like the end, you probably get one last diamond scene to enjoy with one, scene, one steamy scene with one love interest. But you never, you know, like what's gonna happen with them. You're gonna end up with together them. That's really cool. That's really cool. But some books maybe you don't know like what happens with your love interest. So I personally feel like if you go with one love interest, you like evolve with them throughout the book. You get to know them really well, every inch, every bit of them, and then at the end, like you're ending up together. Like, but it's sometimes it's really awesome. But let's talk about now, the books that have multiple love interests. So the book that comes to mind is definitely America's Most Eligible. But again, America's Most Eligible, like when it was in its third chapter, at the third book, so it had only one love interest because you have already made your choice, like the person who you're gonna marry. So you spend the whole book with them, and at the end you have this option like you can marry them or someone else. But that's not a big deal. I think I did in I was with Jen, and I continued with Jen, and I married Jen at the end of the day at the book. So this was really awesome, as you guys probably know. Like America's Most Eligible, I'm talking about. So this is really also cool because if Jen was, or any character was forced and this book went on for three chapters, three books, excuse me, three sequels. So maybe you would have come across Mackenzie or Adam. So then, if you would have thought like it is only Jen, why is Jen? But you had the options earlier, and then you get so America's Most Eligible. How it worked, I think that is really interesting. But again, one part of like this choices community, or this is really diverse community, right? And we like different characters, we have different tastes. Yeah, like if they're forcing like this is one love interest book and there is only one love interest, and yeah, they're definitely gender customizable, they're race customizable, that's all right, that's perfect. But still, like if they introduce, for instance, let's say they introduced Adam, but Adam is not a love interest, so people like Adam. Okay, so I think multiple love interest book, what it does is that it lets you choose. For instance, foreign affairs, you have Blaine, you have Tatum, you have Ina. So maybe your mind is sort of wrapping around them, sometimes wrapping around someone else later, but it's giving you your option. But if you had only Blaine and maybe like Tatum and Ina, if they were just fling or just friend, so you probably would have thought like why it's happening. And same thing for open heart book. Like you have just four love interests, but you want the love interest to be expanded. So I think this love interest thing is really, so someone really commented like a story is really interesting, but these interactive stories, the simulation games, these are really all mostly about love interest too. Like if a book is made, a book can be make or break. The moment is like its love interest, how people are interacting with its love interest. So I think this is really important. So I think both are important, but again, I said like it depends on genre. If you're going with love genre, or if you're going with something like Dakota Winchester story, like with every heartbeat story, then one love interest book is necessity. But when you're going with sort of like any other genre, like adventure genre, or for open heart, or like political, so you have lots of love interest. But in general, I think just even if you're going with love, that's I can understand. Like Nanny Affairs couldn't have been in any other way than it is. But if you have option, I would say like let the options flow, let the options open the options. And what would be ideal, I would say, is that something like America's Most Eligible, the first book, if you introduce let the love interest be introduced, and then we spend the time with same amount of dimensions with each of them. What happened with America's Most Eligible, Bianca, and some other people were there who were really interesting and people liked them, but they were never like at the end. Slater, we can marry them, but we didn't enjoy. But I mean, but first two chapters, so they weren't viewed as that. So, but at the end, they were there like as a marriage option. Those are a little creepy, I would say. But I think we deserved much time with them earlier. So I think there should be options, enough options that people can choose from that, and then one full book where they will explore with equal dimensions with each of them, and that would be really awesome. And then that can develop in book 2 and book 3, then you have just only one love interest left, and then you have finally chosen. Yeah, but it's not forced, you were making your choice, you were choosing. So it would be super awesome. High school story, for instance, it was like that. Both the high school stories, to be honest. America's Most Eligible was like that. So I would say these books, they have done a pretty good job. Freshman was like that. Vampire Diary was like that. So yeah, so I think that route is pretty good. But again, one love interest books are, again, like it depends on what kind of genre you're talking about. Like for instance, like I said, Nanny Affair, it couldn't have been a multiple love interest book, because it wouldn't have made any sense, right? So I think this is a good thing. But it's gonna be mixed up, so mostly you'll see love genres or romance genres, or those genres are basically that has those genres have one love interest, and then others. But again, like the story is really important. Go about the story, there's no problem. We really like story. If there's gonna be a zombie apocalypse book, zombie apocalypse, so for that zombie apocalyptic book, I would really like the story. The story is everything, but also love interest is also good. So there's gonna be a lot more, multiple love interest. So I hope like we get to choose from those multiple love interests, and then with one of them, I want to see the ending, perfect ending. Like whoever we choose, that from the multiple love interests, I hope like we can enjoy with them. Sort of like I put it the wrong way. I hope like we get to know like what our future holds or something like a promising ending, like we see with one love interest books we're seeing, like with Sam we're seeing. So the chemistry should be there, the story. So I think what's good for stories like that, stories that are not just rom com or that are not just part of a romance genre, but romantic genre, but that the romance genre. I mean, but we would like to see something like the story is progressing. The For instance, what would have been so much better? Foreign affairs is doing fine, but we would love to see politics, scandal stuff, and with politics, scandal stuff, we also want to see love, romance, love interest developing chapter by chapter. So these two things should go hand by hand, like politics, scandal, adventure, killing, or the main story, the adventure part going hand in hand with the love part, the romance part, love interest part. So that would make the story complete. Sort of, it lives beneath. It was able to do that. I would say it lives beneath. It was able to do that. It lives in the woods. In terms of love interest, it wasn't that good, but the story was so good that you didn't care about that. But still, it would have been super awesome if it has shown any light on onto these issues, onto these love interests. So it would have been more awesome, I would say. And maybe you probably would have gotten sequel, because books that get sequel, it gets depending on the dimensions. Like you're taking the dimensions with your love interests, you're taking the dimensions with everyone. So like Sam, everybody went after Sam, like, so that's how it works, I guess. So that's all about one love interest books versus multiple love interest books. And let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching. If you have watched so far, congratulations. You might be a big fan of my voice that I'm even not. I'm just kidding. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and you can comment like I subscribed, so that way I will be knowing like you have subscribed to the channel, and I will give you a shout out in the comment section. And share the channel with your other choices lovers, and then stay tuned, press the notification button, because lots of videos, I release videos almost every day, so you get to know about choices news and everything. Thank you guys for listening in. Have a nice day, stay safe, bye.